And so, here we have case number 141-307474-19. Vic Mignogna plaintiff versus Funimation Productions LLC, Jamie Marchi, Monica Rial, and Ronald Toei. District Court, 141st Street Judicial District, Tarrant County, Texas. Motion to compel plaintiff's post-judgment discovery responses. Oh, if you don't know what that means, you're about to find out. To the Honorable Judge of said court comes now Jamie Marchi, defendant, Marchi, or defendant, and files this motion to compel plaintiff's post-judgment discovery responses. In support hereof, Marchi would respectfully show as follows. Background. This court entered a final judgment on November 25th, 2019 in favor of Marchi against plaintiff on November 25th, 2019, the judgment, awarding attorney's fees in the amount of $48,137.50 and costs in the amount of $1,873.96. The court also awarded Marchi's attorney's fees in the event of an appeal to the Court of Appeals in which the judgment is affirmed, which occurred following plaintiff's appeal, and $22,500 in the event of a petition for review is filed with the Texas Supreme Court with no modification of or change to the judgment, which also occurred. Such as, okay, so basically that means, right, the judgment said, if this, then that, if this, then that. And so what's happened is there was an attempt to appeal, the judgment stood through the appeal, there was an attempt to file a petition, that petition fell through as well, so both of those things happened, and so we're at the point where the total attorney's fees due Marchi under the judgment are $108,137.50. This is a lot of money. Marchi served her first post-judgment set of interrogatories, the ROGs, on plaintiff through plaintiff's counsel via electronic service on May 23rd, 2023. If I remember correctly, his counsel should be the Rakita Law's buddy Ty Beard, the real estate lawyer. See Exhibit A-1 attached here too, and incorporated herein by reference. So, basically, it's linked below. Marchi also served her first post-judgment request for production, the RFPs, on plaintiff through plaintiff's counsel via electronic service on May 23rd, 2023. See Exhibit A-2. Plaintiff's deadline to respond to the RFPs and ROGs was June 22nd, 2023. So he basically had a month, give or take. On June 20th, 2023, plaintiff requested a 2-week extension. So 2 days beforehand, needed an extension, in which to respond to the RFPs and ROGs, which Marchi agreed to. So that's good. That's a good thing to agree to. Plaintiff extended deadline to respond to the RFPs and ROGs was July 6th, 2023. Plaintiff has still not responded to the RFPs or ROGs. So that is, and it is now August 8th. Now, this was filed on, it is now August 22nd. It looks like this was filed on August 16th. So they waited over an additional month before filing this. Quote, at any time after rendition of judgment, ellipses, the successful party may, for the purposes of obtaining information to aid in the enforcement of such judgment, initiate and maintain, ellipses, any discovery proceedings authorized by these rules for pretrial matters, which is Texas Civil Code 621A, if you want to go look it up yourself. Quote, the rules governing and related to such pretrial discovery proceedings shall apply in like manner to discovery proceedings after judgment. End quote. Marchi served the ROGs and the RFPs as permitted by the Texas Rule of Civil Procedure to aid in the enforcement of the judgment and is entitled to the information sought therein. Though objections to post-judgment discovery are rare and often meritless, any objections plaintiff may have asserted were waived by plaintiff's failure and refusal to respond to the ROGs and RFPs by the extended deadline of July 6, 2023. So now we've got the judgment has been enforced. As we've watched, Vic Mignogna has been like, no, we're still fighting this. We're still doing this, that, the other thing. He's never been specific about what they're doing. He just claims that they're going to keep fighting whatever's going on. And he's just not responding. He's just not following the judgment. All right? And I can understand if you think that you didn't do anything wrong. Okay, fine, great. Then hash it out in court. Or then fine, great, get a different lawyer. Or then fine, great, follow whatever proceedings you feel like have some kind of merit. You can't just ignore the judgment, though. That's not how that works. Marchi asked the court to enter an order compelling plaintiffs to serve his answers to the ROGs and document responsive to the RFPs within 10 days after this motion is heard. So this has been submitted on the 16th, and it is now the 22nd. Wherefore, so there's a couple more days. Wherefore, premises considered, Marchi respectfully requests that the court grant this motion, order plaintiff to respond to Marchi's first post-judgment set of interrogatories and first post-judgment request for production and produce all documents responsive hereto within 10 days from the date of the order and for such other and further relief to which Marchi may show herself to be justly entitled. So she's like, yo, give me this information and give me, bitch, where's my money? Where's my money? And then it's signed off, certificate of service, Exhibit 1A, which they referred to, which is the same, this is case number 141307474-19, so same one. And so this is the defendant James Marchi's first set of post-judgment interrogatories to plaintiff, to Victor Mignogna, care of his attorney of record, Michael Martinez, yada yada yada, State Freeway, Bedford, Texas. Plaintiff Victor Mignogna is hereby directed to answer the following interrogatories under the provision of Rule 621A of the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure, and is further directed to that the answers to the same be served to Johnson Freeman Law Group, yada yada yada, Texas, no later than 30 days after the date of service hereto. Interrogatory number 1. State the full name, present address, phone number, age, date of birth, and social security number of everyone who assisted in the preparation of these responses. Interrogatory 2. What are the names and addresses of the persons or entities that have custody of records, salary, commission, bonuses, allowances, expensive, or other sums of money paid to Victor Mignogna within the last 5 years? That might be targeting the GoFundMe. Number 3, identify each and every monetary investment Victor Mignogna has made in the previous 5 years. Identify each and every business and or monetary transaction Victor Mignogna has initiated or compelled in the previous 5 years. That might include his fan project that he was a part of for Star Trek Continues. I'm not sure the dates on that. I'd have to double check. Number 5, state the name, address, and telephone number of each and every employer of Vic Mignogna in the last 5 years. So that could be anybody who... Oh, sorry, employer, not employee. My mistake. Anybody who's hired Vic. Basically, a lot of this is going to help cross-reference whatever amount of money they're looking for or whatever they end up settling on, and so that they can confirm how much money or what money he has access to. In case, I wonder if they can garnish his wages. I'm not 100% sure. State the name, address, and telephone number of each other source. Does Victor Mignogna receive any income or revenue in the last 5 years? So that might actually end up being Anime Matsuri, because Anime Matsuri recently hosted him as a guest where he was, surprise, surprise, a weirdo. I have a video clip. If you guys want to see it, you let me know. If Victor Mignogna maintains any business or personal bank, checking, savings, credit union, or retirement accounts, identify those accounts by indicating the account number and the name and address of the institute where the account is located. Number 8, if Victor Mignogna maintains an individual brokerage accounts, joint savings and checking accounts, and money deposited in any other type of account in a name other than Victor Mignogna, identify the account by indicating the account number and the name and the address of each and every institution in which the account is located. Number 9, if Victor Mignogna has access to a safe deposit box or other depository for securities, cash, or other valuables, identify the institution where it is located by name and address. Number 10, if Victor Mignogna has received any property by inheritance or other business transactions, state the date of such inheritance or transaction, the monetary value of same, and other parties involved. They're gonna take his car! They're gonna take his house! They're gonna take him for everything he's worth, goddamn! What is the name and address of the person or any entity that any depository or safe deposit box for any securities, cash, or other valuables is rented? Include in your answer the name and address of each person or entity having access to that depository or safe deposit box, the description of the property contained in that deposit box or depository or safe deposit box, the date on which Victor Mignogna last entered the depository or safe deposit box, and whether any contents have been removed during the last 5 years. So it's not like he can take anything out and say, oh, I don't have it anymore. Number 12. If any property identified in the answer to number 11 has been removed, provide a description of the property removed and date of removal and the reason for removal, the name and address of the person or entity who removed it, the name and address of the person or entity whom the property was given. Number 13, regarding any property which Victor Mignogna has received by inheritance or any other business transaction, please describe and identify the location of that property, its present value, the name of the estate, name and address of the personnel representative of the estate, the court administrating such estate, and, if applicable, the name and address of any entity that was party to any business transactions. Number 14, Jesus Christ, I'd be so scared if I owned anything. If any property received by inheritance or any other business transaction is not now in Victor Mignogna's possession, identify the property and state in detail what Victor Mignogna did with it. Number 15, with respect to any income received by Victor Mignogna from any business which Victor Mignogna is a proprietor, partner, shareholder, or otherwise claims an interest, identify the name, state of formation, and address of that business. Number 16, state the name and address of each person or entity that has custody of any of the business records or books of account maintained for any business of any kind which Victor Mignogna is connected. Where's the books? That's that question. Number 17, identify the principal place of business, the names and addresses of any other interested persons or entities, and the type of business and amounts of incomes drawn from any person or business identified in the answer to number 16. Number 18, with respect to each interest in any property that Victor Mignogna claims an interest, identify the location of the property and the nature of the interest, including the address, legal description, size, improvements, names, and addresses of any of who have an ownership and present value of the interest Victor Mignogna holds in that property. This is going to include his Twitch account. If he makes any, like if people are sending him bits or anything like that, this is going to include Twitch as well. Number 19, state the name and address of each person, entity, or anyone acting on behalf of Victor Mignogna that Victor Mignogna has given a financial statement in the last 5 years. Number 20, what is the name and address of each person or entity that has served as Victor Mignogna's bookkeeper, tax preparer, or financial advisor during the last 5 years? Described any trust to which, number 21, describe any trust to which Victor Mignogna has made a contribution during the last 5 years and identify the name of trust and the name of the address and the address of the trustee. So if he's been giving money to anybody, or like if money has like kind of like just been passing through, that's got to all be tracked. This is what they're asking for. Number 22, describe the personal or real property that Victor Mignogna or anyone acting on his behalf has sold, given, paid for, or otherwise conveyed to or for a relative or any other business entity during the last 5 years. Number 23, describe any interest Victor Mignogna has in any pension, annuity, or retirement fund, indicating the name of the fund and the name and address of its administrator. Number 24, describe each and every motorized vehicle, including cars, trucks, boats, aircrafts, and motorcycles, in which Victor Mignogna claims an interest. They're coming for his car. They're coming for his house. They're gonna take the lazy boy. Everything. They're taking everything. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know, it's been this dropped on August 16th and it's August 22nd, and he knew they were asking for this in May. In May. Oh my god. When did Farah leave? Oh my god, this is chaos. You know, my life may be like not the most flashy. I might not make the most money. I might be kind of boring or whatever. Maybe you're not that interested, but hey, at least I'm not Vic Mignogna. Oh my god. Could you just imagine like just taking so many like just L after L after L on top of just like you're doing it to yourself? Like, it's not like anybody else is screwing you over. You're just screwing yourself over like, just this terrible decision making. Oh my god. 25. Describe each item of property in which Victor Mignogna claims an interest other than items previously described by stating what the item is and where it's located in its present value. Number 26. What is the description and value of each item of property, whether business, personal, or mixed, owned by Victor Mignogna that Victor Mignogna claims is exempt from creditors? So, like, would that include if he has, like, signed on into a house with, like, a girlfriend or something? Number 27, identify by name and address each person or entity who has appraised any real or personal property for Victor Mignogna during the past 5 years. Yeah, that makes sense. Number 28, identify by name and address each insurance company and independent agent that Victor Mignogna has sought monies from for property damage, loss, theft, or conversion insurance coverage within the last 5 years. Number 29, identify by name and address each person or entity that Victor Mignogna has paid, given, or conveyed any real property or personal property of a value more than $500. That's like a couch. And give a brief description of the transaction, including any property transferred to any entity. That's like your stream setup. That's like $500 worth of stuff. Or, like, there'd be things in there that are worth about $500. So, like, the computer, maybe, like, depending on how much you spend on your screens, your microphone, if it's any good. Wasn't he talking about, like, the last couple of years he's been working on or working with or working on and around and about a recording studio? Like, his own, like, anime-esque recording studio that they were getting deals with and from and about? All that is included. That's a lot. That, like, if he was starting a business and he was trying to, like, be syndicating anime, all of that is included, because that would be, like, if he has any monetary investment in it, if he's paying them, if they're paying him, all of that would all be included. My goodness. Number 30, identify by names and business each person who has served as a banker for Vic Mignogna in the last 10 years. Number 31, if Victor Mignogna is a beneficiary under the terms of a will or trust, identify the person by name, address if living, and by name if deceased. Number 32, Who, if anyone, owes Victor Mignogna money, how much, and what is the basis for the debt? Oh, that's interesting. 33, where does Victor Mignogna keep any books or other written memoranda of his income, business, or financial affairs? And then it's signed off. And here's Exhibit 2. Same case number, same situation. Defendant Jamie Marchi's first set of post-judgment requests for production to plaintiff. 2, Victor Mignogna, care of his attorney record. Pursuant to the Texas Rule of Civil Procedure, defendant Jamie Marchi hereby requests that plaintiff Victor Mignogna, plaintiff, produce a copy of each of the following documents in plaintiff's possession, custody, or control, including any documents in the custody or control of any of the plaintiff's agents or representatives. That could include people in his, little Discord that have been, futzing around through this whole thing. All responsive documents must be produced at the law office of Johnson Friedman, whatever, law group, blah, 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 within 30 days after the service of these requests, unless otherwise specifically stated in a particular request. Documents requested are for the period of January 1st, 2017 to present. So 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 6 years. Definitions. The term concerning means pertaining to, relating to, evidencing, including, evidencing again, mentioning, concerning, referring directly or indirectly to the specific specified subject matter or any aspect or portion thereof. The term document as used herein shall mean the original where available and otherwise a carbon copy, Xerox copy, or other copy in addition to each non-identical copy. He needs that in triplicate on his desk by the end of the month. Whether different from the original because of marginal notes or other materials attached hereto or inserted therein or otherwise. Of each item's correspondence communication, including emails, letters, memoranda, messages, notes, reports, cables, telegrams, photographs, films, tapes, and all other written communications of every kind and character, including but not limited to information on electronic or magnetic form, recordings on any media, records or oral conversations, microfilm graphs, worksheets, journals, calendars, time logs, schedules, exhibits, demonstrative aids, letters, contracts, agreements, leases, and other instruments or documents of title, maps, logs, summaries, chronologies, statements, printouts, charts, logs, publications, compilations, minutes, books, diaries, tax returns, work papers, lists. Hold on, I don't know what this is. Indices? What are you? What What is this? Oh, it's an index. Indexy. Oh, multiples of an index. Okay. Indexes, videotapes, and any data compilations from which information can be obtained and translated, if necessary, by the responding person to reasonable, usable form, and all other papers, writing, or tangible things in the actual or constructive process, custody, or control of the responding party. The term or and the term and, as used herein, mean and or. The term own, owned, or ownership are, as used herein, shall mean own, owned, or ownership directly or indirectly, jointly or individually, in part or in whole or in part, beneficially or of record. Person or persons mean both the plural and the singular, and each term includes any natural person, governmental unit, or any other legal entity, such as partnership, corporation, sole proprietorship, association, or joint venture. The term you and defendant mean Victor Mignogna. Request for production. The following documents must be produced by you, Victor Mignogna. Financial institution records. 1. Any and all documents and records for checking, saving, or any other type of account, foreign or domestic, maintained by you with any type of financial institution during the last 5 years, including but not limited to monthly account statements, checks, check registers, check stubs, canceled checks, and deposit slips. 2. Any and all signature cards that name you as an authorized signatory on any financial account for any entity or person in the last 5 years. 3. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any and all transfers from any account maintained by you with any type of financial institution to any other account maintained by you or any third party during the last 5 years. 4. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any transfers to any account maintained by you with any type of financial institution from any account maintained by a third party during the last 5 years. 5. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any wire transfers from any account maintained by you with any type of financial institution to any other account maintained by you or any third party during the last 5 years. All documents that refer to, relate to, so this is 2007, this goes back to 2017. That's that 5 years that they're talking about. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any wire transfers to any account maintained by you with the type of financial institution from any account maintained by a third party during the last 5 years. 7. Any and all documentation submitted to any financial institution or any other entity or person by you for any loan or advice in any capacity, including but not limited to as borrower, grantor, or surety over the last 5 years. 8. Any and all documentation that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any application signed by you or on your behalf or on behalf of you or your children to open a foreign or offshore financial account in the name of you and or any other entity or person. Any and all documents and records of stock options, bonds, mutual funds, debentures, partnership certificates, profit sharing plans, or any other evidence of investments owned or held by you during the last 5 years, any and all documents concerning any interest in or claimed title to any certificates or deposit, letters of credit, money orders, cashier's checks, traveler's checks, bank deposits, or escrow funds owned or held by you currently or during the last 5 years. 11. Any and all documents related to any account in which any of your earnings or other income has been deposited into the last 5 years, whether you continue to have any interest in it or not, and any and all documents evidencing you having authority to access any safe deposit box or other bank secured area for the last 5 years. Real property. 13. Any and all documents referred to, relate to, reflect, or concern any real property currently owned by you, regardless of when such documents were created or executed. 14. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern encumbrances on any real property owned by you. Such documents include, but are not limited to, lines and mortgages. 15. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any deeds or mortgages held by you with anyone else as tenants by the entirety, tenants in common, and joint tenants. 16. Any and all documents evidencing ownership of real property in which you currently enjoy a direct or indirect beneficial interest. Yikes. 17. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern the homestead status of any and all real property owned by you. Such documents include, but are not limited to, voluntary declaration of homestead status and applications of homestead exemptions under Texas tax code. Number 16. If Vic Mignogna is renting a property or has a property that he has any kind of joint interest in where his new anime studio is recording or leasing out the space to anybody doing any kind of recording or anything like that, that would all be included in number 16. Because he doesn't even have to evidencing ownership of real property in which you currently enjoy a direct or indirect beneficial interest. Jesus Christ. 18. Any and all deeds of trust, mortgages, notes, receivable, pledges, or security interests in favor of you held at present or owned during the last 5 years. 19. Any and all promissory notes and mortgages signed by you, either on your behalf or on behalf of anyone else, such as an entity owned or controlled by you in the past 6 years. Any and all checks, receipts, sorry, this is 20. Any and all checks, receipts, deeds, or other evidence of the present ownership by you of any interest in real property, land, whether residential or otherwise, wherever situated. 21. Any and all checks, receipts, deeds, and other evidence of the sale by you of any real property, land, or any interest in real property within the last 5 years. 22. Any and all documents that refer to, reflect, or relate to encumbrances on any real property owned by you in the last 5 years. 23. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any timeshares by that you enjoy the use of. Does anybody really enjoy timeshares? I feel like nobody likes that shit, but I know that's not what they're getting at. Number 24, any and all deeds that title any real property to you as a trustee for any other entity or person. 25, any and all leases of rental property by which you are the landlord or have ownership interest. 26, any and all leases of real property from which you receive rental income. 27, any and all rent rolls for all properties in which you have an ownership interest during the last 5 years. 28, any and all documents that evidence your names being on any rental, any real property tax record as payor trustee for the past 5 years. Any and all deeds or trust mortgages held in your favor of you at present or owned during the last 5 years. 30. Any and all appraisals or other documents reflecting a valuation of any property that you have an interest in or had an interest in the last 5 years. 31. All documents referring in any way, directly or indirectly, to any and all persons or entities who have appraised or provided any other form of valuation for any real or personal property for you during the last 5 years. Such documents include, but are not limited to, appraisals or other types of valuation related to all properties in which you have or had an interest in. 32. All documents that evidence your interest in any mobile home, manufactured home, or mobile home park, or evidence of evidencing a leasehold or management interest related to any mobile home, manufactured home, or mobile home park, including certificates of title or statements or ownership and location. Does Vic Mignogna have a vacation home? He is fucked. Employment/compensation. 33. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any record of salaries, commissions, bonuses, income from employment, distributions, dividends, royalties, allowances, expenses, or any other sum of money paid to you or received by you within the last 5 years. Okay, so you guys know how there's some of Vic Mignogna fans have been like bemoaning that Funimation got rid of him when he made so much money for Brawly, and I had said, well, that would, if he was gonna get residuals from that would be written into his contract, right? So unless you've seen that contract, you don't even know if he would get residuals in the first place. So this means if he was getting residuals from that movie, like they wanted, he's gonna end up having to pay that to like Jamie Marshy, because that would be included in all of this here. 34. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, concern, or identify the names and addresses of the person or persons who have custody of records of salaries, distribution, commissions, bonuses, allowances, expenses, or any sum of money paid to you or received to you in the last 5 years. So this would include any other sums of money. I think this number 34 would include the GoFundMe. I think. So, except that if he received any money from it, because that money was all supposed to go to Ty Beard for representing him, and well, we saw how that went. But that should all be like itemized and like tracked of like what the money was spent and yada 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 yada. So as far as I know, no receipts for that have ever been posted. This might require those receipts. I'm not sure. It kind of depends on what way this goes, but that may end up being included. 35. Any and all documentation that identify the name and addresses of all persons, entities that issued compensation checks to you within the last 5 years. So that would be like any voice acting work he's done, any appearances that he's been paid for, yada, yada, yada. All documents that identify the names and addresses of any person or entity that has employed you in the capacity of employee within the last 5 years. 37. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any employment contracts that you entered into within the last 5 years. 38. All documents that identify the names and addresses of any person or entity with whom you entered into or operated under an independent contract or relationship within the last 5 years. Business interests. This is so long. They want everything. 39. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, any and all businesses in which you are a stockholder, partner, member, officer, director, owner, or registered agent. So that is where you start getting into like his little acting agency thing that he was, whatever it is, the dubbing group that he was starting. And if there was any kind of like property that was part of that would be listed off earlier. 40. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, any interest that you may have in any business, partnership, corporations, companies, or joint ventures. 41. Any and all corporate charters, minutes of stockholders' meetings, resolutions, or recorded evidence of any kind relating to the affairs of any corporation and or business entity owned by you or any subsidiary or other entity in which such corporation and or business entity holds an ownership interest during the last 5 years. Pretty sure that would include the Star Trek Continues. 42. List of all customers or clients with which you or any corporation or business entity owned or operated by you does business or has done business during the last 5 years. 43. A current list of all accounts receivable held by you or which receivables are owned by you and or a business entity owned or operated by you. 44. All documents that identify the name and address of any person or entity that has employed you within the last 5 years. 45. All documents that identify any person or entity that you have acted as an independent contractor for the last 5 years. 46. Any and all employment contracts that you have had in the last 5 years. 47. Any and all documents which refer to, relate to, or reflect or concern your ownership interest in any business, partnership, joint venture, or corporate or non-corporate legal entity currently or during the last 5 years. Personal property. 48. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any items of personal property which you own or claim any interest. 49. Certificates of titles or other evidence of your ownership, lease, or use of any boat, watercraft, motor vehicle, motorcycle, four-wheeler, go-kart, recreational vehicle, aircraft, tractor, agriculture, or construction equipment, or any similar mobile equipment owned by or in the possession of you or any corporation or business entity owned or operated by you during the last 5 years. Jesus Christ. 50. Any and all note receivable, pledges, or security interest in favor of you now and in the past 5 years. 51. Any and all documents that identify household furnishings and fixtures that have been purchased by you within the last 5 years that had a purchase price of $999 or more. So like if you repainted or redid a room in your house or, put in a studio of any kind. Oh, Al, you were right. Isn't it amazing how this was caused by his own hubris? My God. Remember how I said, whether or not you believe whatever people were saying about Vic Mignogna, the way Vic Mignogna has handled this is, so bad and has gone so poorly for him that this is the result. We're talking about over $100,000 and now all of his financial shit is gonna end up in the court record. Holy shit. Especially if there's talk about him, people are pointing out or thinking that he's got some kind of financial malpractice or malfeasance. And then people are going to be like going over that with a fine-tooth comb to find, like, to see if there's anything that they can find, right? Like, everything is gonna get picked through. Whew. Where was I? 52. Any and all documents that identify collectibles, stamps, coins, sports cards that you now own or have owned in the last 5 years. So, like, if he's got any Broly statuettes that he might use to hold his underwear with during streams, no, I'm never gonna let that go. Or, like, if he's got any kind of memorabilia or Funko Pops, all that shit. 53. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any dock slips or the right of you to dock any watercraft, whether they have a legal or beneficial interest in such slips or rights. Tax returns. 54. All local, state, and federal tax returns filed by you or on your behalf during the last 5 years, including all attachments, schedules, W-2s, K-1s, 1098s, and 1099 forms. 55. Copies of all 1099 and W-2s issued to you within the last 5 years. 56. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any and all income tax returns filed by you for the previous 5 years, including but not limited to all drafts and work papers utilized by and or prepared for accountants for tax return preparation process. Keep all documentation always, forever. Transfers. 57. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect of concern the transfer, sale, or gift of any assets in excess of $300 of you or any persons, individuals, business entities, and or trust in the last 5 years. Whew! Financial statements. 58. Any and all documents reflecting revenue and or financial information of you or any corporations or business entities owned by or operated by you which have been prepared during the last 5 years, including but not limited to all financial statements and or balance sheets of you. 59. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, concern, or identify in any way directly or indirectly the name and address of persons or entities to whom you have given a financial statement in the last 5 years. 60. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way directly or indirectly financial statements prepared by you in the last 7 years. Storage facilities. 61. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any depository, including but not limited to safe vaults, safe deposit box, lock boxes, and or storage facilities to which you have access or had access in the last 5 years. 62. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, concern, or identify the names and addresses of any storage facility or mini warehouse to which you have access or had access in the last 5 years. Insurance. 63. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any life insurance policies in which you are either the insured or the beneficiary. 64. Any and all documents that evidence a cash value in any life insurance policy of you and copies of all policies, whether term, whole life, or universal. So if he's got his voice insured, that. Any and all documents that refer to, 65, any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any homeowner's insurance policies maintained by you during the last 5 years. 66, all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, any insurance payments made by you within the last 2 years, or any insurance benefits or payments owed to or due to you. 67, all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, concern, or identify the names and addresses of any insurance agents with whom you have conducted business with during the last 5 years. Such documents include, but are not limited to, documents relating to insurance agents dealing with life insurance, health insurance, homeowners insurance, and automobile insurance. Retirement accounts. 68. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any interest in or claim title to any Coke plans? I don't know what that is. Individual retirement accounts, annuities, profit sharing plans, retirement benefits, or other retirement plans, whether individual or employer sponsored, owned or held by you currently or during the last 5 years. 69. Any and all IRA contracts for all IRA that you currently have. 70. Any IRA or 401k accounts that were rolled over by you. 71. Any and all contributions and distribution records for any current or previous IRAs or 401ks during the last 5 years. 72. Any and all bills or documents reflecting living expenses paid for with your IRA or 401k distributions in the last 5 years. Any and all loans taken against your IRA or 401k accounts during the last 5 years. Trusts. 74. Do you guys think it's going to reach 100? 74. Any and all legal instruments executed or signed by you creating any trust at any time whatsoever, including but not limited to all trust amendments. All documentation that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, any asset held in trust in an estate or in any other name or capacity in which you claim or have an interest. 676. I'm starting to read these numbers backwards. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any trust in which you have contributed or otherwise transferred, whether directly or indirectly, any assets in the past 10 years. 77. All documents evidencing any trust and the assets contained therein for trust which you are a grantor, settler, a beneficiary, or a trustee. Miscellaneous. 78. All documents containing, referring, relating, reflecting, concerning, or identifying in any way directly or indirectly to the names and addresses of persons who have served as accountants, bookkeepers, tax return preparers, or financial advisors for you during the last 5 years. 79. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern lawsuits in which you have been a party during the last 10 years, including but not limited to pleadings, judgments, other than the pleadings and discovery in the above referenced lawsuit. 80. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, any legal cause of action, either real or anticipated by or against you, other than the pleadings and discovery in the above referenced lawsuit. 81. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, the amount of recovery in any legal cause of action, either real or anticipated by you. 82. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any interest or in or claim of title to any patents, copyrights, trademarks, service markers, franchises, or other licenses owned or held by you currently or during the last 5 years. 83. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any interest in or claim of title to royalties of any kind, oil and gas rights, timber rights, and mineral rights you currently have or have had in the last 5 years. 84. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any guns, jewelry, coins, antiques, paintings, art, or other similar assets or property owned by you currently or during the last 5 years. So if he's got like some painting of Broly somewhere, like mural on his ceiling, they're coming for that too. 85. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any household furnishings and fixtures that have been purchased by you within the last year that have a purchase price of $999 or more. 86. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any livestock owned by you currently or during the last 5 years. 87. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern liabilities of you, including but not limited to notes payable, credit card statements, loans, judgments, judgment demands, and unpaid accounts. 88. Any and all credit card statements for all cards in which you is or were an authorized user for the last 5 years. 89. all pre- and post-nuptial agreements between you and any fiancé or spouse of yours to include the list of assets and liabilities to be held separately. 90. All separate property agreements between you and any fiancé or spouse of yours to include the list of assets and liabilities to be held separate. So remember we talked a little bit about Farah and Haley, and Haley is like his current like consistent relationship. That would be the word I'm looking for. This might target her. I'm not sure if she's a fiance or if they're engaged or like how much her life is financially tied to Vic Mignogna, but if it is, like if he bought a car or leased something with her or if she signed anything with him, she's included in all of this. 91. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, any of the unpaid taxes for which you is or are reliable. 92. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any settlement agreements or evidence of the receipt of any payments by you arising from any litigation in the past 10 years to which you have been party and or beneficiary. 93. Any and all documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, any filing in bankruptcy by you or any assignment by you for the benefit of creditors. And what have we learned about during these cases when we looked at them before? You don't get to file for bankruptcy. So no matter what happens here with Vic Mignogna, bankruptcy is not an option for him as far as my understanding goes. Feel free to look that up for yourself just in case I'm wrong. So I'm not a lawyer. What the fuck do I know? I'm just reading this shit for you. And this is for you. You out there that are watching now, you that are watching in the future, you Vic Mignogna fans who want to know how absolutely boned your boy is. You're welcome. What am I at? 94? Jesus Christ. 94. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern in any way, directly or indirectly, any personal or business expense of you, management, rent, household, etc. 95. Any will, including any codicil or any amendment executed by you, whether or not subsequently revoked. 96. Any will, including any codicil and or amendment in which you are named as a beneficiary. 97. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any divorce of you within the last 5 years. Such documents include, but are not limited to, divorce decrees and affidavits submitted in those proceedings. That's a thing that happened. 98. All documents that refer to, relate to, reflect, or concern any agreement by and between you. Such documents include, but are not limited to, prenuptial agreements, postnuptial agreements, separate property agreements, and partitions. 99. All licenses of yours. Such documents include, but are not limited to, driver's license and professional licenses. 100. A full accounting of all GoFundMe.com or other crowdfunding campaigns from which funds were paid to you or on your behalf in the last 5 years. That would include the GoFundMe for the legal fees and would include the GoFundMe for his Star Trek series. Holy shit. Exhibit B. Dear Mr. Johnson, please allow this letter to serve as Rule 11 agreement that shall serve as the parties' agreement to extend Victor Mignogna's deadline to respond to Jamie Marchi's post-judgment request for discovery as follows. 1. The parties, through their respective counsel, agreed to extend Victor Mignogna's deadline to respond to Jamie Marchi's first set of post-judgment interrogatories and first set of post-judgment requests for production for a period of 2 weeks. Victor Mignogna shall submit responses to Jamie Marchi's post-judgment interrogatories and request for full production on or before July 6, 2023. As of this reading, it is currently August 22nd. If this accurately reflects our agreement, please sign where indicated and return the signed agreement to me. Thank you for your professional courtesy in this regard. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact our office. automated certificate of e-service proving that things have been sent and they have been received, etc., etc. Yata, yata, yata. And that is all. Whoo! Okay, so what does this mean? It means someone is in the hole. They are coming for his car. They are coming for his GoFundMe money. They are coming for his projects. They are coming for any businesses, including like his little dubbing industry that they've been lauding that they're working on, that they're going to be dubbing animes in their own studio. All of it. All of it. Can we also please keep in mind that Jamie Marchi was not the only one awarded these things. Monica and Ronald were both also given these things, and potentially Funimation, because Funimation was also part of that lawsuit. So, to a total of, just for Jamie Marchi, the total amount was $108,137.50. Bro, holy shit. They're gonna, this is the, like, the Grinch type thing. They're gonna take the tree, they're gonna take the roast beast, they're taking this man for everything he is worth. How much money? I will repeat. Marchi served her first post-judgment set of interrogatories on blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry, hold on. Such as the total attorney's fees due to Marchi under the judgment are $108,137.50. And then they're just asking for all of his documentation, all of the amount of money that he has or owns or is invested or all money that he's involved in everywhere. Oh my god. They made it to 100. I wonder if they were trying to keep it under 100 just to keep it, like, concise enough. Holy shit. This dude is so boned. So boned. That's gonna include his Twitch channel. That's gonna include everything. Oh, I cannot imagine being this fucked. And, like, the reason why is because he decided to go to court. Fallaciously so, in my opinion. He decided to go to court based on, like, internet lawyer advice, and now this. There are people speculating, and there's some shit floating around that he may or may not be, not entirely on the up and up for his financial situation. If that ends up being the case and all of this ends up in court, that's a big yikes, bro. That's a big yikes. Let me see. I have in the Discord, there's a Substack that you can look at that is titled, a sub-thread that's titled Vic McDick. And if you look at his GoFundMes, let me pull it up here real quick. Vic GoFundMe. I'm pretty sure it was like the amount of money that's in here is $291,777. And the last update was October 16th, 2019. That it just acknowledges that the first lawsuit was dismissed on October 4th. It informed that he would be appealing the decision. He lost that appeal. Timeline appeal should be faster, sure, whatever, provided the update. I will provide updates with how the appeal process. This campaign will remain open until I'm informed that the legal case is proceeding. Is this still open? Yeah, you can still donate to this. And there hasn't been an update since. See, because it's see older updates. This was 13 days ago, 19 days ago, so this is still pulling money in as of right now. And there are no receipts for any of this as far as we found. So that, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. And then there's also the, he had a GoFundMe. I wonder if I can find it. I think it's called, The Trek Continues. Oh, I have to, hold on. Give me 1 second, let me pull this up. I just accidentally downloaded it again. I'm pretty sure I already had it, but whatever. Yeah, it's a charity. Why the fuck is this a charity? Trek Continues Inc. cannot currently be evaluated. Hold on. Trek Continues Inc. What the fuck? Trek Continues Inc. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. There he is. Star Trek Continues. Boldly completing the 5-year mission. Enter site. Okay, yeah, whatever. Okay. Star Trek Continues web series boldly completes the original 5-year mission. Below you can find all our episodes, vignettes, and other content, including behind-the-scenes videos. About? Oh my god, oh no, oh god, Jesus, no, why? Like, all of this is concluded, right? History of Star Trek continues. Quote, in 2011, I was invited to direct an episode called The Prince of Anything for the fan series Starship something or another. It was a very enjoyable experience, and we quickly became friends, united by a love of Trek. While we were shooting, I expressed my long-term desire to create a continuation of the original series myself. Shortly after the shoot was completed, Farragut was informed that they'd have to vacate the 2,500 square foot building in which they had been located. As they were trying to decide what to do with the sets they built, I approached them with the idea to form a partnership. They agreed, and my dear friend Stephen Dengler and I invested the money to lease another building, this one being nearly 10,000 square feet. They moved the bridge and a few other things to the new facility. I purchased lumber and materials to recreate the original sound stage and more completely. Director of photography drew up the floor plans based on the original series, blah, blah, blah. A large number of local volunteers worked very hard the next several months. I joined them myself several times to help with construction, the arrangement, blah, 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 blah. Star Trek Continues produced 11 full-length episodes with millions of views. We won numerous awards. If it's still pulling in views, there's still revenue coming in that he has access to, then this would also be included in what he needs to produce financially. If he's making any money on YouTube, if he's making any money, like, tertiarily at all. So all of this, or has a vested interest in. And so this is something he has a vested interest in. And so, like, the question is like, yeah, okay, yeah, this was in 2011, but that's when he was invited to direct. This says, as of, we moved into the new movie area production, I made the offer to buy them out of their percentage of sets. We agreed the amount as of January 2015. So this is getting really close to that 2017 cutoff. So if he still has any of this stuff, or is still, like, footing the bill for, or has any kind of, like, vested interest in this series, then this would all be included, provided it's still functioning. Somehow they're a non-profit, allegedly. And there's some of their tax returns. There's 2017, 18, and 19. Yep. So that's 3 years of these being included. Let's check the YouTube. There's a Twitter. Oh boy. Did they do a GoFundMe for this? I don't know. If they did, it would count. 187k subscribers. Last uploaded was 5 years ago. 9 months ago. And there's Vic. 9 months ago. I'm muting that because I'm gonna get tagged for the shit.
Under your universe, I must have my captain back. I shall operate the transporter. You have 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
For that time, I have something to say. How long before the Hulking prediction of galactic revolt is realized?
Approximately 240 years.
You never go out.
The Empire shall be overthrown, of course.
You lock
This is 40 minutes long. Comments are turned off. It's got 160k views. Bro, there's no way this isn't bringing in money. There's no way that this is not included if it's as of 9 months ago. All of this is included in the fucking lawsuit. Jesus Christ. Well, how long ago was it that he was getting tiffs with fucking William Shatner a couple of years ago? Because I have all that. Apparently, I guess he was using Star Trek Continues. He was using like what belongs to actually Star Trek, like stuff he doesn't own, was trying to use William Shatner to promote his material, and William Shatner like clapped him back and was like, "Fuck off, dude." So I mean, it's always nice to see, but I don't know how much more boned you could get, quite frankly, with that. That is savage, and that's only one person out of the number of people.